as researchers, we often go out into the field and we think we know the questions to ask, and we think we have an idea of what the answers might be. But in reality, when you engage the community and the people that have actually lived the life of a miner, you realize that, we may have been completely off the mark. We are engaging the patients, we're engaging the stakeholders, we're engaging the community, and that's really what it's all about. To get true, real, live answers, I think all those things are really necessary.
The point of this study is to examine the differences between the radiologic disease burden between pre-1971 uranium industry workers and post-1971 uranium industry workers. We hypothesized that there were a lot of similarities between disease burden, and so we wanted to look more closely at that.
We were able to, through some other funding, go ahead and screen the post-71 miners, and what that did is it gave us the data to prove that the post-71 miners indeed had the same, if not equal to, the burden of disease that the pre-71 miners did.
By 1971, they decided that that would be the cutoff date, December 31st, 1971, for the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, or RECA. And because the conditions haven't really changed for these workers, and they're still experiencing the same symptoms, and so expanding that act may be warranted.
Our other project that was submitted to ATS was about cardiovascular disease in uranium workers. And what we found was that it was much more prevalent than what we expected, and it's not something that we had really researched at all. So what it indicated to us is that it was another condition that we needed to include in our research, and we needed to start looking at it more broadly. And so we are doing that.
We found out that when adjusting for age, sex, ethnicity, smoking exposure, diabetes, as well as FEV1, we did notice that comparing uranium miners versus non-uranium miners, that the exposure to uranium did increase their risk of cardiovascular events, which was inclusive of myocardial infarction, angina, and even any cardiovascular disease when compared to non-uranium miners.
What I learned is that the miners recognize that there are issues out there. We're still seeing some of the side effects from the uranium, but now we're looking at mining period in New Mexico, so we're looking at different industries, what we're being faced with there, and the miners are becoming more open about talking to somebody from the outside about issues that they have. So it was nice to talk to them as miners, to be able to sit down one-on-one, find out what's going on in the communities, to where we can kind of look at geographical areas, issues that they may be having, and ways that we can help them. I think we've made great strides as operators of the industry. You're seeing more and more operators being proactive. You've always heard that safety is a core value for operators, but now you're hearing that health, safety, and environment are core values. So I think that's a plus, that the owners, the operators, the miners themselves are taking ownership and trying to be more proactive. Being that person that could fit in, talk to both groups, and us get a positive outcome out of it has been a real joy. You know, back in the 60s, the miners would probably get together at the local bar and talk about issues, and now we're catching up with times and talking about it on Facebook and Twitter and AmericanMiner.org.
What we wanted to know is, where should we start disseminating our information? And so now we know we can do it on Facebook, and in fact we actually have a Facebook page, the AmericanMiner.org, and we post a lot of information out there. We can read comments from other people. It gives us a lot of great ideas, and it gives us an avenue to talk about issues that the miners are interested in, and also to disseminate the information that we are finding out from our research.
It's really great to see the feedback that we receive, and to see that a lot of these people are happy to have a voice.
I think from here we have to look at what are the true issues out there, what are some of the low-hanging fruit that we can get out of the way right away, and then we're going to have to look at the big issues of what are our miners truly suffering from, and what can we do to help them and prevent this in the future.
We've been able to do all of these projects and go forward and do the research and engage the stakeholders and have the research because we've had this funding from PCORI. We're at the end of our Tier 3 now, and we have submitted for a full proposal, which we haven't heard yet if we received, but we're hoping we will. And so it's all come full circle now. We started off with our initial video talked about the players, and so it was our researchers, our stakeholders, our patients. We talked about how we were going to engage everybody, and we've done that. And then now we have the outcomes of all of our efforts.